Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam IS Academy. So today we are going to discuss about a new connectivity project which is going to be the world's largest economic corridor in the future, you can say, and it is alternatively named as a new spice route. Have you heard about spice route anytime? Yes, this is going to connect some parts of Europe with Asia. Spice route is nothing but in the ancient times, in search of spices, the Europeans, to preserve their meat and all, they have come to the part of Asia, like for example India, China and Southeast Asian countries or island countries, you can say. So that is why they used to name the route they have traveled for spices, in search of spices, as spice route. So we have ancient spice route which was used for trade purposes, but in the recent times we are having a new spice route. This is not for spices although, but still we are naming it as spice route because of the connectivity of the regions which are although same like old spice route. That is why we name it as new spice route. So we are going to discuss about India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. So that is what renamed, or you can say it is also termed as new spice route. So why we are discussing this, in the what context we are looking into this issue, I'll explain here. So you can understand why it is a news, what are the components of this India, Middle East and Europe economic corridor, what is this partnership for global infrastructure investment, we'll see, and what is the significance of this corridor, and which parts or you can say which ports of India are part of this particular initiative, we'll see, and what are the challenges associated with this, and the conclusion we'll see. So here this forms part of IR syllabus in GS paper 2. Then why it is a news. So first thing is, Raisina dialogue is happening in Delhi. So what is Raisina dialogue? It is nothing but annual geopolitics and geo-economic dialogue which is organized by India, where different countries and their external countries, prime ministers, presidents and external affairs ministers will be invited, and they will discuss about the geopolitics. So that as part of this year's chief guest is Greece Prime Minister. So he made a statement in the recent times that India Middle East economic corridor should continue in spite of Gaza war. Why did he refer to this Gaza war in relation to this corridor? Means this project is connecting India with Middle East. From there it is getting connected to Europe. So here you should know which part of Middle East he refers here is Israel. So in Israel there is a Haifa port which is in Israel and Palestine are at war. Because of this war, that port and all this project connectivity should not get disturbed. That is what the statement made by the Greece Prime Minister. So in this slide we are going to discuss about India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. So you can see this is what the dialogue made by Greece Prime Minister as part of Raisina dialogue. So we'll understand what is this project. So this is nothing but a connectivity project where the rail lines, ship lines and also road will be used to connect India with Middle East, then from Middle East to Europe. So we'll understand how this will work on. But main thing is, here we wanted to ensure that manufacturing, trade, energy, security, supply chain resilience will be achieved, and many things. So connectivity will be there. And most importantly, this is seen as an alternative. So this is seen as an alternative to what? Belt and Road Initiative of China. So later on we'll understand what are the differences between Belt and Road Initiative and also India, Middle East economic, Europe economic corridor also. What are the common countries in both of them, and also we'll understand how it is different from each other. Okay, so we'll understand. Then you can see this is the map of this India Middle East economic corridor. You can see India, you have here a port in Mumbai. So from there it is getting connected to this part is in UAE. From UAE it is connecting with Saudi Arabia through rail. You can see all this ways. Here it is shipway, here it is railway. Again from Saudi Arabia it reaches Saudi Arabia, from Saudi Arabia to Jordan to Israel. Again till there you have railway lines only. Then you have here Haifa port of Israel. So from Israel to Greece, here it is Greece. Okay, so from Greece it is there a port. From there again it will be connected to the further part of Europe, you can say, like France, Germany, Italy, all these countries will be connected. So they are using different countries. So which are all the countries involved? You can see here India, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Italy, France and Germany. So these are all the participants of this particular corridor. When it was launched, it is very important. Last year, when in the context of G20, whenever India hosted the G20 summit, then the Prime Minister of India along with US and Israel, Saudi Arabia, you can say the Saudi Arabia president or emirate, you can say that person, all these three have announced combinedly that they're going for this corridor. So what is the main object of this corridor is, there is main intention of this corridor is not formalized only now. It was already announced and discussed previously only, but it was formally announced in the lines of G20 summit. So when was For that, to understand, initially we need to understand about partnership for global infrastructure investment. This we'll understand in a while, but just understand what are the two corridors present as part of this project. One we have is Eastern Corridor. Eastern Corridor is connecting India with the Middle East. So from India to UAE, that is the Eastern Corridor we have there. This is what connecting India with Arabian Gulf or Eastern UAE, you can say. Railroads and ship to rail will be part of this. Then you have Northern Corridor, which is connecting Gulf region with Europe. Okay. So these are the two main things which we have as part of this corridor. So then what is the significance of this project? For this to understand, mainly we need to understand about PGII, that is Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment. So what is this project? This was announced in 2022 G7 summit. At the G7 summit which happened in Germany, at that time this initiative was announced. So what is this project? This is a network of infrastructural projects, and US President has announced this with $60 billion fund. That means with $600 billion fund, this project is getting established. So as part of this PGII only, now India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor is getting established. Means, like, you know, we have BRA, that is China's Belt and Road Initiative. No, as part of this we have CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Same way, we have PGII, which is like counter to this BRA, and as part of this we have India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. So in this way you have to equate. So these are the two things you need to know. So what is this project? I have explained already. So here, what is the significance of this project? How it is important for India means, it is an alternative to Belt and Road Initiative. This PGII was already announced mainly because we need to counter BRA. China is increasing its presence because almost 150 countries today are participating as part of this Belt and Road Initiative. Then deepening Arabian Peninsula engagement. Now if you are engaging India and UAE and Saudi Arabia, and if you see, interestingly, Saudi Arabia and Israel both are in one particular project. Very shocking, no? Yes or no? So Israel and Saudi Arabia, always they will be at the opposite ends, but now in this project they both are involved. So what is the reason for this? Means, anytime Saudi Arabia and UAE, these two countries, if you see, they're traditionally dependent on oil. So now, you know, every country is aspiring to shift from fossil to non-fossil fuel or renewable sources. So they cannot only rely on oil industry anymore. So they have to diversify their economy. In this particular backdrop only, Saudi Arabia wants to enhance its global trade and manufacturing. So it joined in this project. So then Indo-US collaboration also will increase in the Middle East. So this will help us in stability in the Middle East. So if you see, three countries, you can say, partially one country like Jordan is also involved. So here UAE, Saudi Arabia, Israel, three main players in the Middle East are part of this. So they'll try to normalize the tensions. That is why we can achieve the stability. Then it will also integrate Middle East with Europe and India with Europe. So in that way it is beneficial. And when you are reaching to UAE, UAE is not only one economic partner and trading partner for India, but presence of India in UAE will also enhance our ties with Northern Africa. And you know, in the recent times, because of this economic corridor, and if you have seen Houthi attacks in Red Sea, so to bypass that, this is also seen as an alternative route. Okay, so bypassing Pakistan is also one thing, and it also enhances engagement with Africa. Then we have Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment. As I told you, it was announced as part of G7 summit in 2022. So which are all part of G7, I have given here. You can see these countries were announced here in the summit, and you can see this is also named as Build Back Better World Initiative Framework, and it was almost announced for $600 billion. So what is the amount of this India Middle East Economic Corridor? Means $20 billion worth project, you can say. And which are the ports in India which are getting connected is Mundra Port in Gujarat and Kandla Port in Gujarat and Jawaharlal Nehru, this Nehru Port Trust in Navi Mumbai. So these are the three ports, you can say, which are getting integrated as part of this project. And in Middle East we have these ports. Okay, you can see Fujairah Port, Jebel Ali Port and Abu Dhabi Port in UAE, as well as Dammam Port and Ras Al Khair Port in Saudi Arabia. At the same time, Haifa Port, you can see here, Fujairah Port in UAE and Haifa Port in Israel. So these are the ports, and in the meantime they have railway network in these countries in Middle East. So you can see Israel's Haifa port. Okay, this is very famous port. And you know, in Europe we have these number of ports. In Italy we have, and also in France we have, and in Greece this is a port, Piraeus. Okay, this port is also getting connected under this project. Then what are the challenges associated? So logistical and connectivity challenges. So it is not that easy to go for these railway lines and sea lines when it is transnational. So logistical connectivity issues are there, and financial implications. So almost $20 billion worth project. So how the countries will mobilize these funds is also one issue, and potential disruption of existing routes already there. Okay, so some other countries in the Middle East, they may have their own in between country routes may be there. How these things will be settled down will be the challenge in implementation of this particular project. So now, what is a way forward you can suggest? So it is very important in geopolitical concerns. We need to ensure that political sensitivities have to be protected and maintained. Now, time for practice question. You can see, with reference to India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, consider the following statements. It is a proposed multimodal transportation network that would connect India to Europe and via Middle East. It has gained support from World Bank, and it will be the longest transportation corridor in the world. So here 4 options are given. Answer in the comment section among these. Then mains question for practice. What is the significance of this recently announced India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor for India and the world? How it is important. Discuss the challenges associated with successful implementation of the said corridor. This is a mains question for practice. As we have come to the end of the video, in this video we have discussed about the new SPICE route, that is India Middle East Economic Corridor, and also we have seen partnership for global infrastructure and investment we have seen, and also we have seen what is the significance of this project and what are all the countries involved in this project and challenges associated with this project. This is all with respect to this video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.